So even with the videos I've made online sharing information about how to properly set up a sachet water factory or a bottled water factory, I've still gotten questions from people asking me what should be the next step for them to take. In short, I've gotten people who have reached out to me via WhatsApp and other means of contacting me. They've asked me and they've actually told me that they've been watching my video for a while, but they don't know how to actually proceed with setting up a water factory. Well, this video today is to draw your attention to an online course which I have created. In the course, I've selected and I have also uploaded some documents, some files, and I also frequently update the course that will help you with the entire process of setting up your own water factory. Now, if you are setting up a pure water factory, a bottled water factory, or even a dispenser factory, this online course is meant to take you through the step-by-step process in order for you to actually establish your own structure and your own factory. Now, in the course, I take topics right from acquiring land, building the structure, drilling borehole, hiring staff, purchasing equipment, profitability of the business, risks involved. All these things are discussed in the online course. And in addition to that, I also share files like the business plan for sachet water factory, bottled water factory, and dispenser. I also have a building plan. The building plan, you can download it. All these files, you can download them. It is meant to show you how to properly set up your factory and the right layout which you should use. You know, when you are setting up a factory, there are several sections which you need to create room for, like your production room, your cloak room, your finished product room, your water treatment section. All the sections are laid out in the building plan. Then I also have a NAFDAC checklist. The NAFDAC checklist is an official document from NAFDAC where it contains all the things that are required and all the things that they look out for when they come for inspection. You can download all these files, you can watch them anytime. You know, once you have this online course, if you like, you can watch it today, you can take the course tomorrow, you can take it next week, you can take it next year. Even if it's in the next 3 to 4 years, I'm sure it will still be relevant. Because like for the price list of the equipment, I do update the list of the equipment and their current prices. So if you are interested in properly establishing your own pure water factory, you don't want to make any mistake, because some of the mistakes which some people make is due to lack of information. Like ourselves personally, when we constructed our own water factory, we made a lot of mistakes. In short, mistakes that cost us millions. That is why I'm particularly creating this online course, so that some things that you might do that might actually turn out to be a loss. Like, let me give you an example. When we initially constructed our first factory, where we sited the factory was in a place that we were not getting sufficient light. So we said then that we'll be able to run the factory on generator and diesel. But along the line, as the years progressed, you know the way the prices of fuel and other things are in the market. So it made it impossible and very difficult for us to manage that factory in that particular area. And that building now, everything that is there should be worth over 20 million, and we are not currently using it. So that 20 million could have been money that would invest in maybe picking a different location. Maybe if we had all the information which was required, just like how I'm sharing now, we would have done some things differently. So similarly too, in the cases of buying equipment, in short, I've shared an example in the past video where I said somebody bought a particular kind of machine which he intended to use for a bottled water factory. At the end of the day, NAFDAC visited the place and they said they couldn't approve that particular machine. And the machine too was worth millions. So the online course is meant to provide you with all the information that you need, even things down to like labeling your machine. Like you see this sachet sealer. These are some of the things that NAFDAC even look out for. They will ask you for the labeling of your factory, you know, naming your water treatment section, naming your exit points, and all those things. So the course is detailed, and I'm very confident that if you take this online course, some of those small things, some of those mistakes, some of those things that you're not aware of, you will be able to know all these things and be able to apply them appropriately for you to get the best result. And the online course, once you have this online course, is a lifetime course that you already have. After you've gone through the course, if there is someone else that you know who is interested in setting up a water factory, You can also share the course with them for them to also learn from it. So the course is very detailed, and I will highly recommend it to anybody who is genuinely interested in proceeding with the project. So aside from the online course, I also offer one-on-one coaching sessions. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the one-on-one online coaching session. The online coaching session, I'll say, is tailored more to people who are actively ongoing with the project. So let's say you're already building your structure. Let's say you're in the NAFDAC registration phase, which, by the way, in the online course, that's the video course and the documents which I've customized and created. I also share contacts too of people who will do your NAFDAC registration, installations, etc. So for the one-on-one coaching session, let's say maybe you're already building your structure and you need help in understanding how to structure your factory. And maybe there are some places, there are some technicalities that you need more clarity on. You can share the contacts with your engineers, and once you're enrolled in the program, I'll be able to have a discussion with them and we can be able to rub minds to see how we can achieve the best result. So basically, if you're interested in setting up a water factory, a bottled water factory, or a dispenser, I will highly recommend you either enroll for the online course or for the one-on-one coaching program. Or we can also do both. Maybe if you've not yet started the project, you can enroll for the online course. After you've gone through the course, if there's any question you have in the construction phase, in the registration phase, etc., you can also join the coaching program, because there we will have like real-time conversation. We can even have video calls whereby I can see the project and we can be able to have a discussion to see how we can achieve the best result. So if you are interested in this program, I will leave the link to the online course in the description or in the comments so that you can use the link to sign up for the course. And for the one-on-one coaching program, I'll leave the contact information on screen, because I usually hold the course on WhatsApp. You know, WhatsApp is a platform whereby we can have discussions, we can have video calls, I can send you files, you can respond back, etc. etc. So I believe by joining either of these programs, you will have all the information and everything needed for you to effectively achieve the best result in setting up your own water factory. The first common mistake I see a lot of people make when setting up their own sachet water factory is that they don't seek enough information. Now, this covers a lot of branches. In short, the entire project as a whole, if you don't seek enough information, you're on a road to failure, because there are some things that you need to know, some things you need to implement, some hidden information that are out there, but it's just that they are not accessible to you, or you don't know of them that you need to know. And by knowing all those things, it will help you set up a standard water factory, and it will help you avoid some losses in some areas. Let's take, for example, now we are thinking of setting up a water factory, and a land is presented to you that you should purchase this land for the project. Or maybe you have a land, maybe by inheritance or something, you have a land on ground and you want to set up a water factory there. Now, if you are not familiar with those best practices, those things you need to do in order to set up a water factory, those things you need to look out for on that particular land before you set up a water factory, there are some errors, like heavy errors, that you might make. For example, I believe I've also shared it on this channel before. There's a place around Nasarawa State that we wanted to use for a water factory, but we ended up discovering that that land, there was no water there. In short, we're about to make purchase of that land when we decided, okay, we should have surveyors come and check if there's water in that land. That's for drilling of borehole. And behold, when they came, that was when it was discovered that there was no water on that land. So by seeking information, by knowing things about the building structure, depths of borehole, maybe some unique issues that you have in your own terrain, maybe there's a graveyard nearby or there's a sewage line or something, by seeking out information and knowing some of those requirements of NAPDAC, it will help you set up a standard water factory. Except if you don't want NAPDAC to approve your factory, that's when you will just go for like a substandard factory. But not seeking enough information is one common mistake I see a lot of people make when they go into this project. The next error again, or the next mistake which I see some people make when setting up a water factory, is they borrow early. or they borrow in excess. Now, borrowing early or excess borrowing is when you seek out funds from different individuals, from different people, in order to achieve the goal of the project. I've had people contacted me in respect to their own projects, and they told me that the major way which they want to fund that particular project was through borrowing. And the truth is, borrowing, although it might sound as a good idea since you are going into a profitable business like this, but on the long run, it might come up with some challenges when it comes to paying back. This business is a business where for the initial 6 months to 1 year where you set up operations, you are trying to get familiar with the market. So the funds which you will be injecting to this business as at that time will be to start up and boost up the business. Now, except if the people borrowing you this money are people who expect you to refund it maybe after some periods of time, maybe after some months or years like that, you might find it challenging and difficult to try to set up or start up your own factory and at the same time trying to settle off debts of other people. So starting up a factory with excess debt is not a good way to start, and it's one common mistake I see a lot of people make when they go into this project. By the way, if you've watched the video so far, don't forget to leave a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel. This encourages me and helps me to make more videos in the future. The next mistake again, which some people make when embarking on this product, is poor production practice. So let's say, for example, now you've set up your own factory and you are waiting for NAFDAC approval, or you've already gotten your own approval. Some people start to reduce or cut down on their standard. They don't get enough water filters, they don't replace them, they don't carry out some routine production practices which they are supposed to do for the factory to remain standard. So by cutting down on those practices and not maintaining the standard in your factory, it makes the factory start losing customers gradually. And before you know it, even the people working for you will migrate to another company. There was a time when somebody contacted us that the quality of our water was dropping. So we had to promptly find a solution because they discovered that there was some kind of taste in it. And we had to trace the error to know where it was coming from. It was coming from our treatment plant. So some adjustments and some maintenance were made in order to maintain the standard of the water. Now, by maintaining the standard and the quality of your factory and maintaining good production practices, it will help you stand the test of time in the business and the overall satisfaction of your customers and staffs. Now, the next thing I see most people get wrongly when they embark on this project is they don't pick the right location. Now, this also comes in terms of marketing, in terms of the durability of your equipment, and so on. Now, when you pick a poor location, it stresses your vehicle when you go out to supply. When you pick a poor location in terms of power now, it stresses your equipment when they bring light and take it or when the current is not enough. When you pick a poor location, it makes it difficult for your staffs to even come to work. So this affects the general mood of your staffs and the motivation you get when it comes to running of the factory. By picking a good location, this will be the best way to go. So by avoiding picking a weak or poor location will help you improve on the quality of your factory. And the last point I have here is making wrong purchases. So making wrong purchases, this actually affects the factory or the investor. Let's say you buy the wrong set of equipment, or maybe you go for fairly used equipment and they give you some bad equipment, or maybe you buy some equipment and in the process of installing it, or you hire some staffs to work on it, the machine actually develops some issue. So making poor purchases like this actually affects the factory and is a mistake which a lot of people would want to avoid. So in terms of buying vehicles, in terms of buying things for the factory, materials, if you don't buy the right things, if you make wrong purchases, if you don't know who to buy from, that's the best suppliers to buy from. You might end up investing your money in a place whereby you can't be able to recover it. So by following all these things which I've mentioned in this video gradually, I believe if you intend to set up a water factory, It should help you understand some of those things you need to do and where your mind should be when it comes to setting up the overall project. Don't forget to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. And if you are new to the channel, you can review my channel. You can watch my other videos, the older ones. I've shared a lot of information there in regards to set up a water factory. So I'm sure you'll find those videos very helpful. And if you intend to have like a one-on-one coaching session where we'll discuss specific about your own project, I'll leave my business WhatsApp contact on the screen so that you can contact me. And as a part of the one-on-one coaching program, I share a business plan, a building plan, NAFDAC checklist, and some other resources too that are relevant to proceeding with the project. I do charge a fee though for it. It's for all those resources and the materials, and we'll be discussing specific to your project.